Hey everyone, welcome back to Podcasts with Ali and Aiza. I'm Ali, and I'm here with my good friend Aiza. How are you doing today, Aiza?
I'm doing great, Ali. Thanks for asking. You know what? I'm actually really excited about today's episode because we're going to talk about something that many people find a little stressful, but also really exciting. We're talking about going to the airport and catching a flight.
Oh yes, airports can be busy places, right? But here's the thing. Once you know what to say and what to do, it becomes so much easier. And that's exactly what we want to help you with today. By the end of this episode, you'll feel more confident. You'll know how to check in, how to ask simple questions, and how to talk about your travel plans in English.
That's right. And we're going to keep everything simple and natural, just like we're having a conversation with you over coffee. So get comfortable, relax, and let's start this journey together.
So, Aiza, have you ever been in a situation where you were running late for a flight? You know, when you wake up and suddenly realize, oh no, we need to leave right now.
Oh my goodness, yes. Last year, I overslept before an early morning flight. Overslept means you slept too long and woke up late. I opened my eyes, looked at my phone, and I just thought, this is not good. My flight was at 10 in the morning, and it was already 7:30.
7:30? That's pretty late if your flight is at 10. You only had 2.5 hours left.
Exactly. And here's what makes it worse. I hadn't packed my suitcase yet. I had to throw everything into my bag super fast. My clothes, my phone charger, my passport, everything. I kept thinking, where's my passport? Where are my shoes? It was a little bit crazy.
I can imagine. So what did you do? Did you make it to the airport on time?
Well, first, I called a taxi. A taxi is a car that you pay to take you somewhere. I told the driver, please, I need to go to the airport, Terminal 2. And he said, don't worry, we'll get there. Terminal means the building at the airport where you check in and get on the plane.
That's good. At least the driver was calm. Sometimes when we're stressed, it helps when other people stay relaxed.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? On the way to the airport, I was sitting in the taxi thinking about everything I needed to do. First, check in. Check in is when you give your ticket and passport to the airline, and they give you a boarding pass. A boarding pass is like a special ticket that lets you get on the plane.
Right, the boarding pass is really important. Without it, you can't go through security or get on the plane. And speaking of security, that's another step, isn't it?
Oh yes, security. After you check in, you have to go through security. That's where people check your bags to make sure everything is safe. They look at your things carefully. Sometimes you have to take off your shoes, take out your laptop, things like that.
It sounds like a lot of steps, but once you do it a few times, it becomes easy. It's like the first time you do anything, it feels complicated, but then it becomes normal.
That's so true. And honestly, the people who work at the airport are usually very helpful. If you don't understand something, you can just ask. You can say, excuse me, where is gate 15? Or how do I get to the security checkpoint? They'll help you.
I love that. Asking for help is so important. Nobody expects you to know everything, especially if it's your first time flying or your first time at a big airport. Now, let me ask you something, Aiza. When you finally got to the airport that morning, what was the first thing you did?
The first thing I did was find the check-in counter. The counter is like a big desk where the airline workers stand. I walked up and said, "Good morning, I'm flying to Barcelona today." The woman smiled and said, "May I have your passport, please?" So I gave her my passport and she looked at my ticket on the computer.
And then she gave you your boarding pass?
Yes, exactly. She printed my boarding pass and said, here you go. You're in seat 12A. That's a window seat. A window seat means you sit next to the window on the plane. You can look outside and see the clouds and the sky.
Oh, I love window seats. You get to see everything. Some people prefer the aisle seat. That's the seat next to the walkway in the plane. It's good if you want to stand up and move around easily.
True. I usually like the window because I enjoy looking out during the flight. Anyway, after I got my boarding pass, I had to go through security. I put my bag on a small table, took off my jacket, and walked through a big machine. It's like a doorway that checks if you have anything dangerous.
And then you were finished with security?
Yes, after that, I was finished. I picked up my bag, put my jacket back on, and walked to my gate. The gate is the place where you wait before getting on the plane. Each gate has a number, like gate 22 or gate 15. My gate was number 34, so I had to walk for a few minutes to find it.
Airports can be big, can't they? Sometimes you walk and walk. It feels like a shopping mall.
Exactly. And there are so many people. Some people are running because they're late. Some people are sitting and drinking coffee. Some families have little kids who are excited and jumping around. It's a busy place, but it's also kind of interesting. You see people from all over the world.
That's one of my favorite things about airports. You hear different languages, you see different clothes and styles. It reminds you that the world is big and full of different people. Now, Aiza, when you got to your gate, did you have to wait long before boarding?
I had about 30 minutes, so I sat down, took a deep breath, and relaxed a little. I bought a bottle of water and a sandwich because I was hungry. Then I heard an announcement. An announcement is when someone speaks through the speakers to give information to everyone. The voice said, "Attention passengers flying to Barcelona. Boarding will begin in 10 minutes at gate 34.
So that was your signal. Time to get ready.
Yes, I stood up, checked my boarding pass one more time, and got in line. There was a line of people waiting to show their boarding passes and get on the plane. When it was my turn, I gave my boarding pass to the worker, and she said, "Have a nice flight." Then I walked down a long hallway and onto the plane.
And that's it. You were on the plane. How did you feel at that moment?
Honestly, I felt relieved. Relieved means you feel calm and happy because something stressful is finished. I thought, okay, I made it. I didn't miss my flight. Now I can just sit back and enjoy the trip.
That's a great feeling. And you know what? I think many people feel the same way. The hard part is getting to the airport on time and going through all the steps. But once you're on the plane, you can relax.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, Ellie. Imagine you're going on a trip. Let's say you're flying to Thailand. What's the first thing you do when you arrive at the airport?
Good question. Okay, so first I go to the check-in counter. I walk up and say, "Good morning, I'm flying to Bangkok today." Then the person at the counter asks for my passport and my ticket. Sometimes the ticket is on my phone. That's called an e-ticket. An e-ticket is a digital ticket. You don't need paper, you just show your phone.
That's convenient. So you show your e-ticket and your passport, and then what?
Then they ask, "Do you have any luggage to check?" Luggage means your bags and suitcases. If you have a big suitcase, you check it. That means you give it to the airline and they put it on the plane for you. You'll get it back when you arrive at your destination.
And if you only have a small bag?
If you only have a small bag, you can carry it on the plane with you. That's called a carry-on bag. It's easier because you don't have to wait for your luggage later. You just take it with you, put it in the overhead compartment, that's the space above your seat, and you're done.
I like that. I usually travel with just a carry-on bag if it's a short trip. It saves time. Okay, so after you check in, you go to security, right?
Yes, exactly. I go to security and I put my bag and my jacket on a table. Sometimes I have to take off my shoes. Sometimes I don't. It depends on the airport. Then I walk through the machine, wait for my bag to come out on the other side, and that's it. I'm finished with security.
And then you find your gate and wait. It's really not that complicated when you break it down step by step.
Not at all. And here's something I always do, Aiza. I always arrive at the airport at least 2 hours early. 2 hours gives you enough time to check in, go through security, maybe buy a snack or use the restroom. You don't have to rush or worry.
That's smart. Rushing makes everything more stressful. If you give yourself extra time, you can relax and even enjoy the experience a little.
Exactly. Now, let's imagine you're listening to us right now, and maybe you're planning a trip. Maybe it's your first time flying, or maybe you've flown before, but you want to practice your English. Let's practice some useful phrases together, okay?
I love this part. Okay, listeners, we're going to say some sentences, and we want you to repeat them with us. Don't worry about being perfect, just try. Ready?
Let's start with something simple. When you arrive at the check-in counter, you can say this. Good morning. I'm flying to Paris today. Go ahead, try saying that. Good morning. I'm flying to Paris today.
Great. Now, the person at the counter might say, "May I have your passport, please?" And you can answer, "Yes, here you go." Try that one. Yes, here you go.
Perfect. Now let's practice asking a question. If you're not sure where your gate is, you can ask, "Excuse me, where is gate 18?" Go ahead. "Excuse me, where is gate 18?"
Wonderful. And here's another useful one. If you're going through security and you're not sure what to do, you can ask, "Do I need to take off my shoes?" Try it. Do I need to take off my shoes?
Nice. And one more. When you're on the plane and the flight attendant asks if you want something to drink, you can say, "Yes, please. Water, please." Let's say it together. Yes, please. Water, please.
You're doing great. These simple sentences are really helpful. You can use them in so many situations. And remember, it's okay if you speak slowly or if you make a small mistake. The important thing is that you try.
That's right. Communication is about understanding each other, not about being perfect. Now, Aiza, let's talk about what happens after you get on the plane. What's that experience like?
Oh, good question. So when you get on the plane, you find your seat. Your seat number is on your boarding pass. It might say something like 15C or 22A. The letters tell you if you're in a window seat, a middle seat, or an aisle seat.
And once you find your seat, you sit down and put your carry-on bag in the overhead compartment. Then you put on your seatbelt. A seatbelt is the strap that keeps you safe in your seat. It's like the seatbelt in a car.
Yes, exactly. The flight attendants will walk around and check that everyone's seatbelt is fastened. Fastened means it's closed and secure. And then you hear an announcement. The pilot, or a flight attendant, will say something like, "Welcome aboard. We'll be taking off in a few minutes."
Taking off means the plane starts moving and goes up into the sky. It's one of my favorite parts of flying, actually. You feel the plane speed up on the runway, and then suddenly you're in the air.
Me too. I always look out the window during takeoff. You see the ground getting smaller and smaller, and then you're above the clouds. It's beautiful.
And during the flight attendants come around with drinks and snacks. They might ask, "Would you like something to drink?" And you can say, "Yes, please," "Orange juice, please," or "Coffee, please," or "Water, please."
It's also nice to say thank you. When they give you your drink, you can say thank you so much or just thanks. Small, polite words make a big difference.
Absolutely. And then, after a few hours, you hear another announcement. The pilot says, "We'll be landing soon. Please fasten your seatbelts." Landing is the opposite of taking off. It's when the plane comes back down and touches the ground.
And then you've arrived. You get off the plane, walk through the airport, and collect your luggage if you checked a bag. Then you're ready to start your trip.
It's exciting, isn't it? Every time I land in a new place, I feel this sense of adventure. Like, okay, here I am. Let's explore.
I feel the same way. And you know what's really great? Once you've done this a few times, it becomes so natural. You don't even think about it. You just go to the airport, check in, go through security, get on the plane. It's easy.
That's the goal. We want you to feel confident and comfortable. So let's quickly go over some of the key phrases and words we talked about today, just to make sure everything is clear.
Good idea. So first, we talked about checking in. That's when you give your passport and ticket to the airline and get your boarding pass. Your boarding pass has your seat number and gate number on it.
Then we talked about security. That's where they check your bags to make sure everything is safe. You might need to take off your jacket or your shoes. It's quick and simple.
After security, you go to your gate. The gate is where you wait before boarding the plane. Each gate has a number, and you can see it on your boarding pass.
And when it's time to board, you show your boarding pass, walk onto the plane, and find your seat. You put on your seatbelt, and then the plane takes off.
During the flight attendants bring drinks and snacks. And when you arrive, the plane lands, and you get off. Then you collect your luggage and start your adventure.
See? When we break it down like this, it's really not complicated. It's just a series of simple steps. And if you practice the phrases we talked about, you'll feel so much more confident.
Absolutely. And remember, if you're ever confused or you don't understand something, it's okay to ask. You can say, "Excuse me, can you help me?" Or, "Where do I go next?" People at the airport are used to helping travelers from all over the world.
That's such an important point, Aiza. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Asking questions is a sign of strength, not weakness. It shows you want to learn and do things correctly.
Exactly. And you know what? Even people who speak English as their first language sometimes feel confused at airports. It's a busy, complicated place, so you're definitely not alone.
All right, everyone. We've covered a lot today. We talked about checking in, going through security, finding your gate, boarding the plane, and what happens during the flight. We also practiced some really useful phrases that you can use the next time you travel.
And the most important thing to remember is this: don't worry about being perfect. Just try. Speak slowly if you need to. Use simple words. People will understand you, and you'll get better every time you practice.
That's right. Every conversation is practice. Every trip to the airport is a chance to use your English and feel more confident. And before you know it, talking about travel in English will feel completely natural.
So here's a little challenge for you. The next time you think about traveling, or even if you're just imagining a trip, try saying this sentence: "I'm flying to," and then add the name of a city. For example, "I'm flying to London," or "I'm flying to New York," or "I'm flying to Tokyo." It's a simple sentence, but it's powerful. It helps you practice, and it makes your dream feel a little more real.
I love that. And if you want to share with us, you can leave a comment and tell us where you want to fly. We'd love to hear from you. Maybe you want to visit a beautiful beach or a big city or a quiet mountain town. Wherever it is, we're cheering for you.
And remember, learning English is a journey. Some days you feel confident, and some days you feel unsure. That's completely normal. The important thing is that you keep going. You keep listening, you keep practicing, and you keep believing in yourself.
Well said, Aiza. All right, everyone. That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to Podcast with Ali and Aiza. We hope you learned something useful, and we hope you feel a little more ready for your next airport adventure.
If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you could share it with a friend who's also learning English. And keep practicing, keep speaking, keep trying. You're doing amazing.
Until next time, take care, be kind to yourself, and remember, every word you learn is a step forward.
See you soon, everyone. Safe travels.
Goodbye for now.